So it's a 2004 Ford Expedition, so Eddie Bauer, and the rear wiper caused the battery to go flat overnight because it was stuck, and this thing here was trying to get back to its stop position here, and it couldn't, and apparently the motor, even if the engine's off and the ignition's off, just drains the battery. So I'm going to show you in reverse order what we did. You can actually get the thing right out here. This is the shaft that goes through, and it needs greasing up, and it goes back through this part, which you probably recognize from the inside of the car, and I'll show you how I put that back. I'll put it back together and you'll see how I got it out in reverse, basically. So the shaft is greased up now, and it's clean. There's a little tiny weeny washer that sits on the inside of here, and be careful not to drop it. There it is. That'll go on the inside. Oops. Oh, there's two. Okay. Clean them up. So it's back together now. Push that shaft back through the hole. There's a couple of tiny little washers. Don't lose them. They fit in there, and as you can see, the whole thing now moves freely. Before it was quite stuck, and that was what was causing the problem. When it's ready to go back, we're going to stick it back on here. There's a couple of like bolts there, and a couple of these nuts that came off. That'll be a good way to start to get it back together, and then you can start on the outside. So we're just gonna put these two bolts in finger tight to hold the thing in place while we fix it outside. There's a bigger bolt out there. I'll show you in a second. I took the shaft out while I'm doing this because I need one hand for the camera, and it'll just fall out of the hole here. Make sure you don't lose the little washers, and I'll put that back in and meet you on the outside. So I tightened up those little bolts on the inside, finger tight, and cleaned up the glass around the hole. And now this is poking through. You can turn it by hand. This little guy will go back over, and there's a little lug to make sure that it stays in position at the top. See that up there? Fits in the little slot at the top of that one. So push that back in, and then next job is this guy here. This was really stiff and really hard to get off, so I'm going to tighten that up now. I'll be back. That's going back on a lot easier than it came off. I just want to be careful I don't over tighten it and smash the glass. Okay, so once the little rubber seal is in there, I pushed it in gently with the end of a screwdriver. We're going to put well, actually you need to turn this, make sure that it's in the leftmost position. You'll hear it click, so that it's ready to go, and then you're going to put the wiper blade back on so it lines up with the crap on the back of your windscreen. I'm going to need two hands to do that because it's set at an angle with the spring holding it. So back in a sec. Okay, so I forgot to say there's a little washer that came off after the seal. So I've put that back on now. I've taken the wiper blade off. I'm going to put it back on now. So again, I'm going to make sure on the inside the thing's in its return position, and I'm going to put the camera down while I get the blade on. Okay, blade's back on. I had to do that with the window open so I could hold it from the inside at the same time. And now I'm just going to put the little nut back on and do that up pretty tight, because that doesn't want to move. Inside here is a little sort of threaded the end of the shaft is threaded, so it won't move. So I'm going to do that up tight, and then I'm going to pop this little cap back on, which was how you got in there in the first place. When I took this blade off, it was quite difficult, and basically I just unscrewed it because it's under tension from the spring in there. it's at an angle and it doesn't want to come off, but if you unscrew it, it comes off fairly easily. So that took me a while to figure out, but that's done now. So let's go and do those things back up. Okay, that's done up. Put that back on. Seems good. So quick look inside. That's all in the right position. That looks good. Those are done up again. This guy's back in his home position. It's all ready to go. It's the moment of truth. Uh-oh. The things you have to do. Okay. Camera, lights, action. Look at that. Bloody hell, it works. And it sounds and seems a lot healthier than it was before. It was really struggling to do that. So that's it. That's how you lube your back wiper on a 2004 Expedition. Have fun.